When did we all get so convinced that acne is something that we fixed from the outside? I understand why, because it's on the outside, and so we would try to fix it from the outside. But it's so complex and too intelligent to just solve with a face wash, because when you actually read what people are saying, you realize that the skin is clearly responding to something deeper. Now let's break this down. I had one person that said that acne disappeared when they started snacking on dry roasted peanuts. Another person said intermittent fasting and 20,000 IU of vitamin D daily cleared their acne. Another person's dairy was the culprit, and once they stopped it, acne was gone, and when they reintroduced it, acne came right back. We have people who said keto made it worse. Another set would say carnivore fixed it, reduce omega-6, increase omega-3. Someone said it's stress, that's cortisol. Another said stop overwashing, it's the product. Another said vitamin D changed my life. Another, I water fasted and my acne cleared. This still was a game changer for another person. Another person cut dairy and went plant-based, and they have had clear skin for 10 years. And you see, there is such a pattern. A lot of these people didn't have clear skin just because of their cleansers. Yes, cleansers work, but a lot of these people that I studied changed their internal terrain, and that's when it hits me that I could never fully accept the idea that skin health is purely topical. Because if that were true, why would fasting affect acne? Why would dairy elimination clear it? Why would the vitamin C deficiency trigger acne? Or the omega-3 ratios, why would it matter? Or stress, why would it flare it? Or carb restriction help some and worsen it in others? Because acne is not random. It's metabolic, it's hormonal, it's inflammatory, neurological, it's microbial, it's environmental. It is a signal. So let's now organize all these comments and what they are actually revealing. The first one is blood sugar and insulin. Low carbs helped some people, but starting keto worsened acne for others. Why? Because dramatic carb restriction can spike cortisol in short term, and cortisol increases oil production. Cortisol disrupts gut integrity, and it also increases inflammatory signaling. So for some, keto would also lower insulin and improve acne. So for others, while it's improving acne, it's stressing the system. The same diet, different terrain. The second one was dairy. Multiple people eliminated dairy and it cleared up, and others, they eat cheese and butter with no issue. Dairy increases IGF-1. IGF-1 increases androgen signaling. Androgens increase sebum production, but not everyone is equally sensitive. So it's not about dairy being bad, it's about receptor sensitivity. Third, vitamin D. This one came up repeatedly. There was this guy that took 20,000 IU daily. The acne disappeared, and when he stopped taking it, the acne came back. Now, vitamin D isn't typically a skin vitamin. It's an immune modulator, and low vitamin D means higher inflammatory response. Higher inflammatory response means more aggressive acne. But here's the nuance. 20,000 IU without the labs, it's a gamble. In practice, I would say test first always. And then the fourth one was fasting. Intermittent fasting, 2 meals a day, 72 hours fast. Why would that impact acne? Mostly because fasting lowers insulin and it activates autophagy. It also reduces inflammatory signaling, and it gives the gut a break. All of these things contribute to a calmer acne. But then again, fasting can also raise cortisol if overdone. So again, context matters. The next one was omega balance. Reduce omega-6, increase omega-3. This one makes plenty sense. It is foundational because high omega-3 intake increases inflammatory prostaglandins, and omega-3 helps to regulate them. And that directly affects sebaceous gland inflammation. The sixth is stress. Someone said it plainly. You forgot stress. Stress increases cortisol. Cortisol increases oil production. Cortisol worsens gut permeability and it destabilizes blood sugar. So here's the part people don't realize. Physiological stress counts too. So when you're overtraining, overexercising, overeating, extreme dieting, obsessive fasting, chronic sleep restriction, look, you can eat perfectly and still break out because your nervous system is inflamed. And then there was this one about products. And one commenter argued that the real culprit is overwashing and overexfoliating. There's some truth there because a damaged skin barrier creates microinflammation, and inflamed skin produces more oil. But here's the thing. Damaged barrier might worsen acne, but it doesn't create the hormonal drive behind it. It's rarely just the cleanser. And then the eighth one that I saw was the liver herbs like milk thistle. For that one, it is supportive, yes, because, but acne is rarely because your liver is, in quotes, toxic. It's more often because there's poor estrogen metabolism, or there's androgen dominance, or the gut-liver axis, there's dysfunction in there, or there's insulin resistance. So if you support the liver, yes, you would have some improvement, but also find the upstream driver. Is it the androgen dominance? Is it the estrogen? Just find what exactly the problem is. But definitely supporting the liver helps. Peanut eradicating acne. This one is interesting because why would that help? If growing up, I was told peanuts cause acne. But possibly because in that person's case, there was a stabilizing of blood sugar and the person probably replaced refined sugar with snacks and was better satisfied and was able to reduce stress-induced hunger. Because the problem is not the peanut itself, the problem is the entire lifestyle. So when I step back to look at all of this, I don't see random hacks, I see patterns that respects physiology. And acne shows up when insulin signaling is unstable, when androgens are overstimulating oil glands, when vitamin D is insufficient, when the omega-3 ratios are inflammatory, or when the gut barrier is compromised, or the nervous system is stressed out. All of the above, mildly stacked, would cause acne. And here's what no one in the comments did. No one asked, what's my fasting insulin? What is my vitamin D levels? What is my zinc status? What's my CRPs, my testosterone? And, some of the very salient questions that I would probably ask. They experimented. Some got lucky and some didn't. If anybody had an acne and they walked into my practice, I would not start with a product. I would assess everything. I would assess their insulin, their HbA1c, the vitamin D, zinc, CRP, the total and free testosterone, just a bunch of tests. After which, I would make decision on what I would do. Then I would stabilize the terrain and make sure that I'm solving the exact problem. And that got me to wonder how we convinced ourselves that inflammation showing up on the face has nothing to do with hormones, gut signaling, micronutrients, or stress. See, I know that skin products can clear acne, but what about the underlying story he was trying to tell in the first place?